Welcome back to Beekeeping Basics with Danny. Now, it's been a while. We've sat the winter out. We're getting into spring. We're literally on the 28th of March. So we're knocking on the door of getting back out into the apiary. For those that you've picked this up and you've never seen me from the last year, we've done a whole year of beginning beekeeping. Basically, I've done a course like we all do, and then jumped straight in the deep end and got the hives, and we took it from there. So we've done a whole year. We filmed it, and it's basically beekeeping basics with Danny. So we're back out in the apiary today. I wanted to do a little video. We've done the all lactic acid, and we've done that over a space of 3 weeks. But today, I'm going out there. You know, it is roughly about 12 degrees right at this minute in time. And I was watching the bees yesterday. It was a nice warm day and the sun was on the hives. As soon as the sun hits them hives, they're out, the bees are out, which is a good sign. And they was bringing in only small amounts of pollen, which is, again, is a great sign this time of year. We're on 28th of February today. So 1st of March tomorrow. And yeah, I was watching them and I was bringing little bits of pollen in, and that is a great sign. So what I'm going to do today, we fed these, or I fed these bees over the winter period on this, basically, which is a baker's fondant. And we've fed them, just making sure that literally a small container like this. We filled it up with baker's fondant and we just assessed it, and if they needed more, if they had it, we just filled it up and give them more. And I've only done it a few times. I left them their stalls just to help them out throughout the winter. But today, some say do it middle of February, but I've missed that boat. I was busy last weekend. But today, what I'm going to do is, I've got this. And this is basically a food supplement for bees, especially designed for bees, and it's a pollen patty. So what this does is, they'll either take it or they won't. That's something that you'll assess when you go in and watch them bees. But basically what this effectively would do is it's going to help speed the process up of queen laying. So if the queen feels there's pollen coming in, and there has been small amounts of pollen coming in over the last couple of weeks with the little bit of decent weather that we've had, but if the queen understands there's pollen coming in, that gives her a little bit of a, okay, I need to start laying eggs. So if you can also speed it up with a pollen pate, which is a pollen, how can I pronounce it? It's a supplement, basically. So it false tricks the queen into thinking she's having a lot of pollen coming in. Okay, we've hit that time of the season. Let's start banging out them eggs. Bear in mind, what is it? It's so when the queen starts laying her eggs, it's off the top of my head, what's it? 26 days, something like that, for the bee from egg to newborn bee. It's around that sort of basis. So if you can speed it up now in February, you can potentially gain yourself a month. You know, how can I simplify this? If you don't do this, and we were still having bad weather now, the queen's not going to lay. She's not going to lay no eggs. So you look, if you run the basis of like last year when we had an awful spring, it was just rain and it was cold, it was garbage. So there would be no pollen coming in, and all that does is delays that queen from laying, because she's not going to lay, because she still thinks she's in the height of the winter, and it's going to be delayed, and you know. So what, in a nutshell, what we're doing is we're going to feed them these. We're going to false pretense that there's pollen coming in. Queen starts laying early, and it's going to effectively give you X amount of bees 28, 26 days prior. So it's a real kickstart, yeah? So that is the point of this. it's just going to kickstart it. It's going to hopefully get that queen laying and give us a head start on the summer. So, and it's called Vitafeed pate on here, but we beekeepers know it as a pollen pate, and it is, like I said, it's just a substitute for bees bringing in pollen, speeding the process up for the queen, just to start laying eggs. So what we're going to do is we're not just going to give. I'm going to stick these gloves on because it is so sticky. It really is sticky. I've got water there. Wash that off. So what we're going to do, we're not going to potentially starve the bees of their baker's fondant that they have in there at the moment, which they are eating. We'll take the camera in and we'll have a little look. They are eating the baker's fondant, not rapidly, but they are eating it. Maybe I left them enough stalls so they wasn't really intrigued. One hive I've changed it, a big tub, a little bit bigger than them, twice. And the other two hives have run on the same tub that I started in the beginning of the winter. So maybe they had enough stalls and, you know, they didn't need that. But what we're going to do is we're going to do in one tub per hive. And excuse me, one of the reasons why I'm knocking this up here and now is because what we don't want to do is take off the tub that's already sat on that hive, take that off, leave an open hole, let their heat come out, and then use the tub that I've taken off that hive. I'm not going to do that. So what we do is we preload an empty tub now, and then when we go to the hive, we literally offload what's there, whether there's half a tub, whether there's a quarter of a tub, whether it's an empty tub. We're going to offload that tub and we're going to drop this one straight on. Let's not let any heat out of that hive. Let's try and keep all the bees in there. You know, we don't really want to upset them or let any of their heat out. Okay, we're running on probably 12 degrees today. So, you know, just try and keep their heat in there, keep the bees in there. So it's literally, it's going to be a one-off. Oh, it's going to be a one-off and a one-on basis. A quick process. So we're going to knock these up now. And don't get me wrong, I mean, this time last year I was doing my own bee course. You know, and then we went and done the whole year of looking after bees, and we had a successful year. I say, if you've not seen my journey, go onto my channel and you will see my last year journey. So this is new to me. This is what I've learned about doing this. And don't get me wrong, they'll either take it or they won't. You know, it's one of those. So what we're going to do is open her up. Okay, so we've just peeled off the paper. I was slightly confused with this because it does come in like a sealed package like that. I mean, there's nothing that really says about how you have to then peel off this paper that is really stuck to the actual pollen patty itself. Now, the bees aren't going to get to that if it's wrapped in a polythene. So I've just spent 10 minutes peeling all of this kind of paper, a bit like a toffee with a sticky toffee with a, you know, the sweet wrapper on it. It's really awkward to get off. Now, maybe someone knows something that I don't know, but anyway, we've peeled it off. It's better it off than on. You know, the bees will only eat the patty. They won't eat, you know, the paper. You'll probably be left with the paper in the tub. But anyway, so what we're going to do is, most of that is off now. So I'm going to break that nice lump of that off, and I'm just going to stick it into the container like so, and then we're also going to stick, we're going to cut ourselves a chunk of this baker's fondant off as well. I'm going to chuck a bit of that in there as well. So we've got a little tub of half and half. It's probably a little bit big, so we'll lose a bit of that. we want them to focus on this pate more so. So what I'm going to do is spread this out a little bit. And then we stick that on the top, like so. So basically we've got that, and that will sit on the top of our hive, and hopefully the bees then come up now and start eating this, not only the fondant but the I'm gonna knock that into half, stick that one a bit of a deeper box, that one, but it's not going to matter. And again, we'll cut another chunk of this fondant off. You know, and even though we left the bees stalls, if they're hungry and they're looking for food, then they will eat this. If they're not, then they won't. Then, you know, but you're by far better throwing this away, losing this, than you are your bees, without a doubt. Again, we'll squash all that in to the tub, all the way around the outside, and then we're going to stick that. What that effectively you do, that baker's fondant will also help that, because the baker's fondant is a lot stickier than this pate, and that will just hold it up like so. And they've got the fondant around the outside, or they've got this, whatever they choose to take. And we're doing this on all three. Just get rid of that little bit of paper. Another little bit of fondant in there. Same process. Again, stick it to the tub. And it always stays soft, this, especially with the heat of the hive. Keeps it very, very soft. Squash it out nice and flat. And it won't be long. Give it another month and we'll start probably with the 1:1 sugar syrup. Get them off this fondant. But this is definitely a must with the pollen pate. So there we go. We've got our 3 tubs made up to stick into our 3 hives. So let's set the camera up and get these set in. So right, so we'll move these to one side. We'll offload the lid. And you'll see that there is some bees in there eating the fondant at the moment. You can just see in there is bees taking that fondant that we previously provided them with. So this is what I was saying about having the pate all ready, because we're going to pull this off and we're going to put that one straight on. As quick as that. So as you can see, don't want to let too much heat out. We'll remove some of this off of here. So it seems to be, oh, there. And we'll just simply stick that over the top. Get any excess bees out. They will find their way back in. And then we just replace what we got. Seems to be different sized tub. Doesn't want to go back in how it came out, which is really annoying. Like to keep it well insulated. If it went that way, we'll squash it in there anyway. We want to keep it nice and tight down, completely insulated, keeping that heat in there. So yeah, there we have one done. So this is one of my nuke boxes, which we extended up. So we've got brood box, 2 super frames on it, and you know, we kept this one going over the winter. And this is soon going to be ready to get into a hive. And as you can see, all the bees are up. And they've not really been interested in their fondant on this. So we're going to replace this with this. So we're at the ready. We'll get this one off. I'm not sure why they haven't been interested in this, but we'll see. It is very sticky stuff. And they haven't been interested in that at all. But what we'll do is we'll get the new one on straight over the top, like so. A little bit messy. With a few bees in there, and we'll shake them out. Now we'll find their way back in. We'll see how they get on with the pate on that. They seem to be doing well. They're all up. We can see that they're in there. So upside is, you can see that they, you know, we're not at the end of the winter yet. We'll say we are, okay, 28th of February, but it's looking good. And that is the main thing. They're still looking good. And if you can see with this one, look, they have polished off all of their fondant. Hungry bees. Do have a few wood lice in there. It's just nice and warm, so they're going to find that. Again, what we're going to do is we're going to offload that very quickly and replace it with this one. Lots of bees. Try and do it as quick as we can without harming any at all. Giving them that little bit of food that they need. Trying to hopefully get out the bees that are in there now. And they're all out, so we're going to replace the insulation. They've now got their pollen pate and a bit more feed, so we'll check this in a week's time. We'll see how they are with that. They certainly needed a bit more food, so and you know, that's why we do what we do. That's why we feed them, because if they're hungry, they eat it. Now, you don't want to starve your bees. 100% you don't want to starve your bees. Like I say, this time of year, let's get your pollen pate on there. false lead that queen, that pollen's coming in. And she'll start laying more eggs. So that's it basically. That's just a short video on what I thought I'd, you know, I'm coming out here to do it, so I thought I'd do a short video on it. That is pretty much the Feed pollen pate this time of year, and they're going to feed that, like, you know, so we've done it with the baker's fondant that we've been feeding them throughout anyway. So, you know, if you want to get that queen laying early, get ahead of the game, get pollen patties in there. And I'll just, you know, hope this video helps. I'm just going to pack this box away now with all that stuff, bits and pieces, and that's it. That's me done. So we're going to come out here, or I'll come out here. Obviously I won't do a video on it, but I will come out here and I will check that. And if it's gone, I might do a little short video on it, just showing that, you know, within a week it's gone. We'll see how they feed on that. Hopefully, fingers crossed, they get into that pollen pate. It false pretends the queen. She starts laying early, and we get ahead of that game. When we get in the spring, we've got a booming colony, fighting the spring, going into the summer, and the stronger your hive, the better your honey, and, you know, and everything else will be. So we'll leave it there. I'll keep you updated, and if you just pick this up on YouTube, I did do a year. Feel free to subscribe. It's free to subscribe, and let's go into a new season in the apiary. We're filming it again. Got a new addition to add in there, which will be interesting to you beekeepers. So until next time, ciao for now.